So morning. Today we're on the Sutton Valence walking tour. This is a 8-kilometre hike. We're up near the Kent Weald, so let's get on it. So it's due to take about 2 hours, this walk. You know, obviously we'll cut it down for the purposes of me trying to edit out talking too much rubbish and getting some of the better shots. But yeah, nice 2-hour walk in the morning. That should be right, shouldn't it? This is the second walk I've done this week, and I've got a day off Saturday, so hopefully I'll get a third, which will be good. Might go a bit further afield on Saturday, and try and get something really special, but we'll have to see how we go. Now, as any regular viewers to the channel will be used to by now, I've taken a wrong turn, so now I'm heading back down Pleasure House Lane, which it looks like we weren't meant to go down in the first place. The only problem with these, this is one fault I will say with the All Trails app, and anyone who's watched the films knows how much I rave about it. One fault is that when you're following the navigation map, it doesn't actually have the names of the streets. Now, this shouldn't be a problem usually, because you know, you can just keep an eye on which way you're going, but when you're trying to do 10 things at once, sometimes you forget to look and end up, as I do, going down the wrong lane quite often. That's actually suggesting that I don't walk down the lane. It's kind of implying that I should be heading through the field. Let's have a look at this view from here. Again, I'm going to expand so we can get as much view as possible of what is quite an amazing landscape. So this is why it's so often easy to lose which way you're going to go, because I've got 1, 2, 3 choices of road and a field, and actually where I needed to go was through here, which was quite well hidden. I didn't even see it. Looks like we're finally on the right track. as embarrassing as it is to admit, I don't actually know what they are. And there's part of me feels like these are apples, but I can't be right because my nan had apple trees in her garden, and these aren't really trees, are they? They're kind of. I really need to brush up on my horticulture. I imagine quite a long time ago, in a different era, maybe these would have all these pallets would have been loaded up every day and driven into Covent Garden Market when it was still a fruit and veg market. And now I guess they go to Nine Elms, which is where the market moved to back in the 80s, I think. Back in the 80s. Very easily miss this exit, this footpath. So we're at about the 2k mark. We've just kicked over 2k. So there's about 6 to go. We're about a quarter of the way through. We've got lost twice, or at least maybe not lost, but we've gone the wrong way twice certainly. And I'm sure there'll be a few more wrong turns because sometimes I'm a bit of a div and don't pay attention, if the truth be told. But we're on the right path at the moment, so here we go. Just coming up on the right here is St Peter and Paul's Church, which is absolutely lovely looking. Just turn the camera around so you can get a You've got a graveyard on both sides of the road. But what a lovely looking church. So, I think I said in the last film how I'm always fascinated by sort of, the history and the old architecture of places and the stories that, I mean, these were the heart of villages, the churches and pubs were the hearts of these villages. They would have seen births, marriages, deaths, and everything in between. And whilst I'm not a religious person, I think it's quite sad that in many instances we've lost that in the UK. community. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't expect that. Apparently that's a farm, a prison even. Oh, interesting. Always nice to see the Union flag flying. I've got to say it's quite overcast today. It feels, and I hope I'm wrong, but it feels like there might be some rain at some point. Jeez. Yeah, it feels like we might be due for some rain. You just see the tips of an old oast house down there. We're not going that way right now. We're going to go through this gate. And, hello. Hello. It's difficult to get very close to these guys to get a good look at them. Hello. Because looks like we're heading downwards now. It's nice to see some sheep close up. I mean, look at that view. Oh, that's a whole load of mud. Right, I'm going to have to think about this one. Now, as you can see, this is incredibly muddy and there's nothing to grab onto particularly. Oh, there goes my foot. Oh. Right, so there's a word to the wise if anyone does this hike. We've had 3 or 4 days of really nice hot weather, and that still hasn't touched the sides with that little section, but we've passed through it. We're okay. That was fun. Oh, shit, oh fuck. Oh no, I've got to go through this again. Let's try and navigate this as quickly as we can. Well, it says I have to go through here. Let me just show you that. I don't know how I'm meant to do that. There's barbed wire on top of the fence. There's a crazy dog up here. And there's no way through. So I'm a bit stuck as to what I'm supposed to do. I'm certainly not climbing over barbed wire in a pair of shorts, because that would be mental. So that was all a bit of a waste of time, and I thought I was going to get eaten alive by Basil for a minute, and now we've walked all the way back, but we're going to have to somehow get on the trail via the roads. So after all that jumping around, climbing over gates, I can tell this is going to be a hell of a film to try and edit. So, look at some lovely houses for a minute and, and calm down again. So the app is now telling me that I'm off route, but the route doesn't allow either for Basil, the dog, or a fence or fields that are fenced off with barbed wire, etc., etc. So that's the first real downside on a walk I've had. That's just wasted half an hour, and now I've got to try and get back onto the route via the roads. So obviously it's really not ideal to find yourself on a single track path, or road that's relatively busy when you should actually just be going through the fields. And it's going to be quite a big detour for me. I mean, we'll make it back onto the route, but it's going to be a big detour. Still, it's all steps, isn't it? You get your steps in. Basil the dog didn't get to kill me, at least, so although that car just had a go. I mean, personally, I probably would have slowed down if I'd seen somebody in the road with nowhere to go. But you know, that's just me. Oh, I'm coming across as a bit bitchy today, ain't I? What I'm pointing at is where we just got stuck. There's obviously the same sheep, and here is a stile to climb over, which frankly they could have done back down there, but you know. So we're in with the sheep. And let's just zoom in. Chaps. What a beauty. Look at this one. Hello. Hello. Doesn't pay to get too close to animals, wild animals certainly. You know, you don't want to worry them. It's actually just better to leave them be, I think. These two are getting a bit of shade. 3. Getting a little bit of shade. I'm walking through copious amounts of sheep droppings. You're okay? You're okay. So if we'd come this way before, I mean, I'm hoping anyway, unless there's more surprises up ahead, if we'd come this way in the first place. It says I've taken a wrong turn, but it does lead, it seems to be leading to the right area. Right, let's climb over this one. Wow. So the question is there a way in there, into there? Doesn't look like it. So my gut feeling tells me you've got to come down here to get back to the road. Although I could be very much mistaken. It's a nice bit of plant down here if you're into your heavy machinery. What I'm hoping is that we don't come across yet more mad dogs. Oh, cushy, look at that. Oh yeah, I knew what I was doing all along. I had this planned. I was just trying to make a more interesting film. Right. So we're back on track after a little detour. Fortunately. And then in a second, when we get down to probably to the end of this road, we'll find ourselves back where we should have been. We're coming up to about 5k. So I'm thinking it might be a good time to stop for a minute if I can find somewhere to sit down. Oh wow, look at this house. Wow, look at that, floor to ceiling glass. That's lovely, isn't it? Oh yeah. I mean, these are all lovely round here, all these houses. Real sort of quaint countryside properties. Yeah, absolutely lovely. In fact, I think that house that I've just passed is potentially where Basil the dog appeared from to try and frighten the life out of me. So let's just stop here. I mean, I just don't think, no matter how much I film it, I don't think you could ever truly appreciate how good this looks unless you're actually standing here. All I can hear is crickets, birds, and very, very distant traffic. And the wind slightly, very, very slight breeze. And me talking, obviously. Well, like I say, we're at about 5k now. I've gone the wrong way again, I don't believe it. I'm rubbish at this. Right, so up here on the right there should be a turning or a road. that I've literally just walked past. I have to say, I don't remember seeing one, but it feels like we're slightly picking up now. Might be my imagination, but up at the end here, which, if I'm right, would seem like the perfect spot to take a little cup of tea, cup of coffee even, because I don't drink tea. Now, firstly, it says Graham Edmed, 1948 to 2021. He farmed and loved this land. Rest in peace. Yeah, rest in peace, Graham. And as I say, I think the reason for the bench being here is this. Do you know what? I also remembered to bring my Aussie bite, which, considering it's 10 o'clock and I've been up since 6:30, I think I can justify. So, that's so good. Now, although we're going to go off the path slightly, I'm just going to go around here to have a little look at this church. Because you know I love the church. Place looks like it's I wouldn't say seen better days, but it could probably do with a gardener. But look at this tree. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. So that church is All Saints Church. There's a Kent County show on the 5th, 6th and 7th of July, if anyone's interested. I sometimes wonder, well, since I've been doing these walks, it's made me wonder, you know the streets where you live, the area where you live, you know the immediate vicinity and what houses are there and etc, etc. But I've seen so many places, so many houses and mansions and places where people must live since I've been walking doing these countryside walks. You think you'd never know about these. You'd never ever see these or know about them if you didn't do these walks, because they're in the middle of nowhere, like literally in the middle of nowhere. And some of them are absolutely stunning. I mean, very expensive, beautiful houses, beautiful gardens, and good luck to them. Whoever lives there, good luck to them. But yeah, you'd never know about them. And like the views and the animals and stuff like that, it gives you a little lift to see them. I like beautiful things, and you see plenty of beautiful things on these walks. So we're up to 7k now, so I don't think there's much further to go. About a kilometre, maybe a bit longer. Oh, there's a pub. Ooh. Let's have a look at let's spin round and have a look at the pub. Let's try and drum up some business for the local. So they do food, so if you're in this neck of the woods, support your local pub, and before they all disappear. You get down the Harrow, have a drink or two, maybe something to eat, and as always, beautiful cottages. Always the same in Kent. Beautiful, beautiful cottages. All in. Footpath, yeah? This is a footpath.
Sorry?
This is a footpath, right? Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, mate. Hello. You're beautiful. Let's look at you too. How you doing? You're alright, fella. Thank you.
See you later.
Ta-da. All in. They're not always the best signposted, these footpaths, I must say. I'm hoping that I picked up those two border collies one way or another on the camera, because they were little lovelies, weren't they? It's quite difficult to sort of bend down and sort of stroke a dog and at the same time be filming it. It's all a bit close contact, but fingers crossed we got it. I'll see when I get back home and start editing. I think I've gone the wrong way. I think I need to go through here. And yeah, it's been quite a nice walk so far, this one. I mean, apart from that situation with the boggy bit and Basil the dog wanting to bite me legs off, you know, that was the only sore point. But no harm, no foul, as they say in America. He's another beauty. Look, hold on, let's get the camera around and pick this one up. Love me a dog. Hello, mate. Hello. All right. How you doing, fella? You all right? So I've been going for 2 hours, 2.25 hours so far. Like I say, we are close to the end. But it's slightly longer than I'd wanted to take, but that detour sort of messed it up a bit. I don't know what they are, but this is the, I suppose, the modern day equivalent of fruit or hop pickers from the last century. I believe they would have come up from London for the day or for the weekend, done some hop picking, strawberry picking, that sort of thing. And I think now they're quite often Europeans who come for the work. Here we go, another gate. You know what it's made me think is, can you imagine if you were doing this walk sort of midwinter or in autumn when the rains came? So we've just turned over the 8 kilometre mark, which isn't bad going. I don't feel particularly tested So that's probably a good sign. Straight across here through another gate. Now you'd almost say that this was a golf fairway, it's so well manicured, but I don't think it is. Maybe it's a cricket pitch or something. After everything I said about not jumping over locked gates, I come straight up to a locked gate. And the reason being is because you're not meant to be going through that. You're meant to be, I'll show you, you're meant to be going through this, which once again is very, very easily missable. Stinging nettles, brilliant. We see that? I mean, it may be that we're going to come up to it, but the thing is, I've still got to go to work today. When I finally finish this hike, it's 10:45 now, so I've got 3 hours to get finished, get home, and get ready. Which is, by the look of what's left, I hope it's long enough. This is so overgrown that I've no idea if I'm going the right way. There's no path to speak of. Right, I don't know what happened to the camera there. It just had a bit of a tantrum, and it didn't want to move. So I don't know what that was all about. Still, we're in the woods. We've come out of the field, so we've got a nice little bit of shade now. We're back in the woods, which is a bit of a relief, to be fair, because the sun out there in the field was getting a bit full on. This is very much the kind of thing. This part is very much the kind of thing you would imagine if somebody talked about hiking to you. You know, really sort of rough paths and you know, hidden sort of gates and thoroughfares, and lots of nettles. I don't think I've ever been stung as much as I have so far on this particular walk. But then an electric fence. Oh, let's have a look. So be warned, people. If you're going to do this one, stay away from the fence. There I am moaning about stinging nettles, and in the very next field I get presented with an electric fence. Well, that's a step up, isn't it? Not sure how I feel about that. I feel like it's going to take me about a month to edit this one, because it feels like I've been walking forever. What are we up to? 9.1k. Which, compared to some of the channels that I watch, for example Sam Cully, who's one of my favourite to watch. I mean, he's a real inspiration, Sam. I mean, he's doing like 20 miles a day, so I can't really complain about 9-10k in the sun. Oh, more sheep. Let's have a little spin round. There you go. All having a little lie down under the tree to try and keep warm. And who can blame them? I mean, if you were out in this all day and you had a fur coat. Now this little section here is very, very tight and very overgrown. There's nettles and brambles. And as I said earlier, I'm wearing shorts, so I could do with getting out of here in a minute, well, if I'm honest. Left or right? Left or right? Left. Okay. So here we are, back on the road, and we don't want to be on the road. We want to be on this path here. That can't be right, can it? Unless it is right. Won't lie, all of a sudden, in the last 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, the heat has gone through the roof. And I'm finding it, probably for the first time on a hike yet, I'm finding it a bit of a struggle. Now, fortunately I've got plenty of water, but where this has gone on a lot longer than I expected, I made the mistake of not putting on sun cream or sun lotion, and now I'm beginning to feel it. Anyway, have a look at this view. Whew. So we finally made it to the Great Tower. I mean, that's some history right there. I always imagine the people that built this and how everything I can see in front of me, they would have chopped away at and plastered and hoicked up the hill. It's as somebody who does a manual job himself, I know how much work goes into building something, especially something as heavy as this. And I don't know, I've just always got so much respect for these guys, for the conditions they would have had to work under. Absolutely fascinating. And one more time, let's look at that view. Okay, let's go home. Right, so that brings us to the end of today's walk. As always, thanks for joining us. It's ended up being 3 hours and 20 minutes and 11.5 kilometres, which is a lot more than I expected it to be. But I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it a lot. Even getting scared witless by Basil the dog didn't seem to spoil it. Do join us again next time. Please like, subscribe and comment. So until then, see ya.